more. Good signs so far for New York.
I gotta say, Brent, I have seen this composition be used a lot in Asia recently. The Batiste, Brig, Reinhardt, Zarya, McCree, Torb. And I understand its purpose. It's supposed to be an anti-dive composition. But without the Lucio, I don't understand where the win conditions come from. You're just hoping that New York make mistakes.
Look at the aggression.
Mano's doing so much work with these nano boosts, and it just charges up his primal rage as well.
Yeah, and this is exactly how New York need to be playing this. Now, Mano is very, very low. He's 1 HP, hiding around the backline, waiting for the heals. But you got to play aggressively into this, and because of that aggression, because of the nano boost being applied, he now has the primal rage to try and stall this one out. Now, Alamo's going to be using that rally just to really try and prolong this fight out, and it also helps the fact that Sabiobi is able to get a pickup or two. Ult's being expended now. FLETA using the Molten Core just to lay down a bit of that damage over time. All over the floor. Liquid hot magma.
Mano, he comes out of his primal rage, and JJoNax got 75% of another nano boost. So they keep this ult cycle going.
Ooh,
nice shatter,
bubble.
actually, but JJoNax going to build it up, and he gets the nano just based off the damage that they were doing to Mano in the first place. So the Mano nano goes into the dark area, and he's going to shred Shanghai to pieces.
Mano, nano. It is finding bits. It's doing work right now. Nice Bionate from JJoNax as well. Got to give credit there to both Mano and JJoNax for being able to close out that team fight. Mano's reaction time to the bubble, blocking the Earth Shatter, not letting it apply to JJoNax, allowed him to apply the nano boost and allowed them to turn that fight.
But I've got to return to this. It's a composition that was popularized by the Hangzhou Spark, but they didn't have that much success with it anyway, and New York have played against it. They've beaten it in the past. I just, without the Lucio, without a speed boost to be able to run your close range damage of the Torb and the McCree into people, I don't see how this beats dive. It doesn't make that much sense to me. And New York, I think, Sabiobi and Libero, if they stay out of a little bit of range of Lip, they can still get a lot of work done here.
Such a hard ask, but Lip finally finds the pick off. That McCree switch moves over. Sabiobi goes down. Now the self-destruct has to go big, but it only removes the turret. Already a tick on the point. Molten Core going to be utilized by FLETA here. He's just trying to lay it down over a spreaded area, like butter running over toast. Going to be denying a bit of this point structure from New York. We can start to see them initiating though. Mano using the Primal Rage, and he has battered back the backline. He split them up a little bit, but not before going down himself. Libero in a bit of trouble, 1 HP in a dream. He has to skirt back to the health pack behind them. He can't really assist with them on the point, but they have to go clutch. They have to go huge. Sabiobi with the nano boost, reminiscent of a time, a long gone era. He has to find the pickoffs. Gets one onto Luffy. It's a fantastic opening. Mano moving over to the Wrecking Ball just to try and clutch this one. Lipdo returns with an own kill. Sabiobi's still alive, still trying to find one pick or two, but the rally comes off by Lee Jae-gong. He does not go down. That might bite them in the backside. Sabiobi now with the post bomb, but does not get the opportunity to use it, as Void will laser him down. The tracking is real, and that's tracking with 2 Cs, ladies and gentlemen. Only a couple of players from New York left remaining. Animo trying to hold on, trying to stall this one out for his team. Desperately holding on, but it will not be enough. The Shanghai Dragons are going to cap it in the nick of time.
Well, good work from the Shanghai Dragons backline to keep each other alive there. It's imperative that you do not allow Sabiobi to get into that backline and kill the healers. And all of the previous times, Luffy had gone down, but not in that final fight. Luffy and Lee Jae-gong, thick as thieves, making sure that each other stayed alive throughout that fight. And Mano did not get very much work done either with the Primal Rage. Made sure to take that out away from him. So in the end, Shanghai Dragons do complete the map, but it's in overtime. And this now seems, to me, to be a very winnable position for New York. Yeah. I can certainly see them start to come back in this series. And if they can put together a good attack here, New York fans can start to have a little bit of hope again.
I can see it. I can see it happening. And if it was going to happen, it would have to be on Anubis, obviously, because...
yeah, it all comes down to this.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, one map is the difference between New York going home, exiting out of the Asia May Melee, not walking away with the opportunity to go in the grand finals, and this is really their time to shine, see if they can avert the expectation. Shanghai, on the other hand, a bit shaky in this map, but still holding strong, and it's not over yet. New York have got Bit of a tough time ahead of them to try and get through this.
Oh, I thought New York were going to run dive, and I had a little bit of faith. But they're coming out on the right-hand Zarya comps again. This is going to be so tough. Shanghai have got great positions here for Lip and Void again. There's a lot of high ground. They're relying on Libero to get early picks, I think, here.
Yeah, and it didn't really work out for them when they were running this on King's Row, I will say. Maybe it could be a little bit different. The punch comes in, but it's going to be connecting onto the thick body of Orisa. Fortify, stopping Fearless from moving backwards. A lot of damage being pumped into them, and it's going to be Luffy, I should say. It's the first kill there onto Sabiobi, takes him out, and off the back of that, when you find that opening pickoff, it becomes that much easier for the rest of the team to collapse on the rest of the party.
Look at that high ground control from Shanghai again. I hate to keep rabbiting on about it, but it's the exact same thing I was talking about in my crunch time presented by Cheez It Grooves. And they're getting another shout out for me because it's the same point that I'm returning to, which is that Shanghai are just using Fearless as the bait, and everybody else can reposition themselves onto high ground and shoot at Mano and Hopper as they engage. Yep. I just don't think it's strategically sound.
FLETA's taking an off angle here. That dynamite damage comes in with the hyperspheres. And Animo falls when they were trying to rotate around. You'd lost your Lucio now. I feel like it's not the worst scenario in the world, but now New York are kind of lost without Animo. They need the speed boost to engage onto Shanghai. Otherwise, they are just sitting ducks, and look at them.
Are they going to try and spawn camp Animo here?
Oh, boy.
Animo baits them a little bit. Baits out the dynamite.
The headshot.
But it's not enough.
So clean. So clean when it comes to playing out Ash. But ults are online now. Shanghai, again, with the positioning advantage. New York, a lot of pressure, 2 minutes now. A lot of it's been burnt down by their hesitation. Bomb's going to be utilized pretty early on. Gravitic Flux sends up so many targets. Right into the air. FLETA duplicating over, uses the Deadeye. What a skillful play. That's just flexing on the opposition. Uses the Deadeye just to replenish all the ammo, just so he can resume shooting. Purely a flex. Purely just flexing.
He duplicates Sabiobi and does more there than Sabiobi's done on this entire push so far in the in the 2.5 minutes that he's had available. And New York are stuck. They are pot committed. They're only just getting up to their first grab because Hopper's been shooting double shields the entire time. It's not his fault. I think it's just not a good composition. And Animo dies again at the beginning of the fight. Oh, this is a tragedy for New York. This map was winnable.
So winnable. So frustrating to watch as well, I imagine, if you are a New York fan. Looking at your team just running their heads against the wall repeatedly. Now, again, Mano just stepped forward a little bit just to shield Animo. They have ultimates to use. This is New York's time to see if they can turn this around. Now, the Sound Barrier to Coalescence is coming up. They may have the Graviton Surge. We will see now. Libero leads in the punch, doesn't connect onto anyone. Now, Fearless's Supercharger does go down almost immediately. That's a great pickoff for them. The Seismic Slam from Libero, quickly round the corner. Void does fall. Not bad for them. Now we see Hopper utilizing that grab. Connects them all together. And that's the Slam Jam, Space Jam combo, if you will. Enough damage being put into them. It means that New York are able to capitalize. And they finally open up this point. But at what cost, Josh?
They needed double support ult and the Space Jam combo to be able to win one fight there on their point A attack, but they did it. New York fans still have hope in this series because they're gonna get time on the clock here, and if they can build up those ults again or just find a good dry push, then there is still hope. 2 minutes to be able to push and secure at minimum a draw, 3 minutes to be able to push and still give Shanghai an opportunity to respond. So, New York, they have opportunities left.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they aren't trying to work their way around the left-hand side. I feel like the right-hand side is very difficult with FLETA just occupying that high ground.
Look at it. They've got so many angles here that they can play around.
No high ground
moving forward. Like, Mano is just being assaulted from every single angle. Mano goes for the Earth Shatter. It's a desperation play. Lip does get stunned up, but look at that! They step too far forward. In New York, they instantly jump on it. Ravenous for the win. Moving forward now, straight for the jugular. They're opening it up with the pickoffs. This is fantastic. This is what New York needed. A couple of players now moving on to the far side here. FLETA duplicating over to the McCree. We'll see if he can clutch this one, but Lip finds a kill onto Sabiobi, but not before Lip will fall once more. FLETA using the Deadeye. is going to be cracking the shield of Mano. Mano has to back off. He realizes his teammates have fallen out of this fight, and they're not able to press the advantage.
But it's okay, Brent, it's okay. With Sabior's amazing flashbang kill onto FLETA and Mano getting a shatter onto Lip, they took the DPS out of the equation and they gathered a tick. One tick is a good start for New York, and they've still got a minute and a half. They're starting to get up to these ults and they engage with the sound barrier.
Sound barrier used, speed boost as well, moving straight into number. Fearless has that supercharger. Not before it's taken out. Now FLETA wants to lead it in. The sticky bombs are doing so much damage to them, and New York are not able to find any pickoffs. They can't get the openings that they need. And Shanghai Dragons, they're just finding kill after kill after kill. It definitely feels like I don't know, what are we watching? Groundhog Day here? Where's Bill Murray?
Yeah, a little bit. But Hotba's finally getting his second grab of the game. And that really could be and has to be a game changer.
It's got to be big.
If New York can initiate with the Coalescence, and Sabiorbi in fact moves over to the Reaper just to shred people that are caught in that grab. So they need to engage with the Coalescence, find a lot of people in this Graviton Surge, not lose anybody, and find the kills. That has to be the way for New York.
Let's see if they can find it. You can see Lip, or FLETA, I should say, taking those off angles once more from the high ground, just spamming in that damage. They're going to need speed, violence, momentum to try and work their way out here. But FLETA, he's moved over to the Reinhardt. He's swinging stunned up right now, but he's almost built up his Earth Shadow already. The Graviton Surge from Hopper. I don't think it got anything. I don't think it got anything at all. It's a disaster for them. Lip with 2 kills. FLETA laying down the Earth Shadow. New York have not found anything. Zilch coming into this team fight. 16 seconds remaining, Josh. This is looking like it could be curtains.
Yep, the New York main tank and his off-tank partner have really had a poor day today, and that Hopper grab, it seems like it's just going to seal the deal. With only 3 seconds left, nobody can even touch.
No.
And it's devastation again.
The New York Excelsior, when we all had such high expectations for them, are not able to do it, but the Shanghai Dragons are coming out looking clean. 3-0, and they will be moving forward into the grand finals that are about to be played. What a devastatingly one-sided series that we've just witnessed, and I can't help but feel utter frustration that I feel like is being projected onto me from the many New York fans that have woken up early today, because it really did feel like that New York were running their heads against the wall over and over and over again, running that same composition.
Yeah, and I do think that New York had chances to win this series, at least from what we've seen throughout the course of May. In our qualifiers, in our games, we've seen tight games between these two teams before. When these two teams clashed previously, it was a 5-map series with New York looking good. And Shanghai looked a little shaky yesterday. I have to admit, Bren, I was coming into this thinking that Shanghai were only maybe a 60% chance of winning this game. I thought it would be really close, but they put on a masterclass today. Their positioning was phenomenal throughout all of the maps. It was beautiful to watch. They are a double shield team like we've never seen, honestly. The Seoul Dynasty were previously our measuring stick for double shield teams in the past, but Shanghai Dragons today looked untouchable.
Yep, they were utilizing it all. They had the perfect idea of how to play into whatever New York were running at them, you know, from the off angles, from the aggression, the tempo that they were playing at, utilizing the halts, just comboing effectively together. And that is going to be it for New York Excelsior's tournament run. They're going to be going out in the semi-finals. A good run, nevertheless, but I can't help but feel that, you know, this is just a repeat of storylines that we've been mentioning almost since the inception of this team. But it's not over just yet, because you've got to look on the positives here. If you are a Shanghai fan, your team is going to the finals. And FLETA is going to be our player of the match, presented by Xfinity, of course. And FLETA had, I think, a reasonable game. You could make an argument for Lip. You could make an argument for FLETA. Both of them, I think, contributed.
Void as well, actually. I think Void had a really good game today. I think he was a fundamental part of the reason that they were able to play this style. But FLETA was very good as well. He had very many moments where he was able to flex over onto different heroes. I mean, a great performance just towards the end of Anubis there, where he copied Sabiorbi's McCree and styled on the New York roster. So, yeah, a very scary player and a very scary team to go up against. And although Seoul Dynasty have made their way to the finals alongside Shanghai, one team made it in slightly more decisive fashion. So Shanghai are definitely looking for revenge over the Seoul Dynasty for their previous occurrence.
That's right. Yep, that is going to be our final matchup, our finals matchup, that is. And it is first of 4. We may be going a distance tonight. I mean, what's the time, Josh? It's currently 4 a.m. where we are. We could be going all night. We could be going until 8 in the morning. You know, we could have our talent manager, God bless him, Mr. Jansen. He could be waking up. He could be like, oh, you guys are still up? Yes, we are, Jans, because we got quality Overwatch. So we will see. I don't know if we're going to be going to a break right now. I actually can't remember if I've been queued or not. If we are, it could be my fault, could not be. But anyway, don't go anywhere, guys, because when we come back, we are going to be having the grand finals kicking off. That's right. It's going to be the Seoul Dynasty versus the Shanghai Dragons.